Log recording. Hold on, let me get this damn thing off. I just wanted that one recorded. This was just strictly video. Okay, it's 20 after 9. It's still the 21st of May, 2022. Kids are still going crazy outside. Why am I not surprised? It's Memorial Weekend, and therefore they're going ape. Not bad for a Saturday, huh? My neighbor kids losing their damn minds all over again. I had watched I had watched a show, the Saving Mr. Banks. I always wanted to see that one, but I really did not expect that film to really get me going. The waterworks, the heaving. I mean, halfway through the film, I'm already set up for this thing. I'm already seeing what the character's background is and how it affects her and how she's being affected and being screwed up left and right. And then the next thing I know is I'm watching her go through the transformation. I'm crying my eyeballs out on this damn thing. All the way from midpoint of the film, the halfway point, to the end, I'm crying my eyeballs out. Because as I'm listening to some of the music that's being played, and some of the stuff that I've gone over in Mary Poppins, I absolutely remembered how this affected me a great deal because of Ma and David loved this film as much as I did. I mean, it hurt like hell for me to watch this thing, but I watched it because I wanted to see Saving Mr. Banks, and so did David before he passed. It was a hell of a movie to see. It's a hell of a thing for Emma Thompson and Tom Hanks to do because this was a hell of a tribute to him, to old Walt and Miss Travers, PJ Travers. God rest their souls, both of them. But me crying my eyeballs out on this damn thing. Oh my God! If I happen to send Walt Disney this instead of the other one, oh my! I don't know what the hell they'd be saying at this point over here. I've gone mad. Probably gone. I have. Because I was getting a lot of platitudes concerning about Disneyland, and that was no lie. Come on. I mean, I gave it from heart at this point over here, but I wasn't crying my eyeballs out. I'm looking at the picture still of David and Ma, smiling at me as I'm taking their picture. Sometimes it's hard enough for me seeing the picture behind me on the cabinet because it's all three of us there. And that's the thing that usually triggers me off sometimes. Or even see the ones concerning about Stuart Anderson's or Outback or Stuart Anderson's. Because that place meant something. But just one time, we get a waitress taking a picture of me, Ma, and Dave having a meal and enjoying my birthday cake. I don't even know which birthday it was. Doesn't matter. It was a birthday. We were celebrating it that night. I guess right after I got off work somewhere or somehow. But we were celebrating it. Because we went out. I'm wearing my Disney vest. What the hell? It's my birthday. I'm wearing my Disney vest. Screw it. But I don't wear it on workplaces. I wear it whenever I feel comfortable. If we're going out and I'm going to make a fool of myself, what the hell? Wear a Disney vest. Or wear the vest I've got right now with some stuff on it, but not as much. But I was skinnier during that time. A lot skinnier. And remembering those times. They didn't kick me in the ass as much or kick me in the gut as much. But except for tonight. When they are kicking me in the gut. Only because I only had almonds for dinner and a handful of nuts actually. And water, juice, milk. Something light. So right now I'm stuck with half a can of Dole's pineapples. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. Things like that would break me down as much. I mean, there are certain triggers out there that'll be getting me like crazy. Family scenes, especially when they're trying to forgive each other, when they're trying to reconcile, and actually when you try to see them hugging each other. I mean, it's like, here we go. Here comes the emotional tsunami, and I'm off. I'm drowned. I had to stop the film several times just to recover from that. It was hurting me that bad. The film was excellent. Don't get me wrong, the film's excellent. I know there's a lot of advice out there that people can say, just let it go, let it go. Yeah, well, how the hell do I let it go? All this pain and grief and stuff I've been accumulating for all my life. Places like when I go over to Disneyland with my family at that point, wasn't even thinking about it. I mean, that stuff is already shoved back way further my brain cells in the dark regions and the nether regions over there, just waiting to bust forth. And when I lost my brother, the last one in my family, in my core family, the one that means a damn to me, that was it. Everything came out. Everything felt like it was breaking apart. And still had to scramble to pieces just to get a roof over the head, to fight off bed bugs, and to try to keep school alive because I was still going as a college student in the 50s, in the 50 age range. To me, that's an accomplishment right there, okay? I've made too many videos and too many audio recordings concerning about this. I talked about it for years, or at least for a couple of years anyway, since I had the channel out. One way or another, I had to make people know what was inside and what was going on in here. How do I make movie people like that understand of mental health illness? How grief and depression affects a person like that? The only way I knew how was to communicate it to them. And I'm constantly using these things. The voice apps. Constantly using the voice apps. Constantly using flash drives up left and right. No wonder I am broke all the damn time. But this meant something. I know in certain films that you have to let go. You have to let go of the pain. Yeah, but it takes a long while. Some people make the decision and say, okay, I'm not going to let the pain get to me. I've got no choice but to allow the pain get to me, unfortunately. No matter how many times I keep saying, I don't want you. But probably subconsciously, I'm holding myself back on this damn thing, holding on to that weight. I'm worse than and Atlas. Atlas never asked for the damn world to be on his damn shoulders. And yet I'm pleading for the world to be on my shoulders. That's how it's acting as if at this point. And yes, this would be a challenge. Oh shit, not again. Hold on. I know you've heard it. Welcome to Apartment Living 101. Deal with the damn kids. Made me lose track concerning about the taping I was doing at this point over here, talking about mental health, talking about Disney, how it affected me, also the film, emotional crying, and then what do I hear? Ding dong. Only because they can hear me. I have a window open, ventilation, so they can hear the voices coming out. They can also see the light coming through the window for a little bit. I need some illumination for this anyway. And since I didn't see anybody else, I know it's the neighborhood kids at it again, playing the same old games they did last year. So, record, record, record. I'll probably wait until the next ding dong. Prayers what kind of ding dongs they are anyway. No imagination. They gotta pick on somebody, might as well pick on me. Must say, pick on the guy, he's got a target on his head. What the hell does he care? Let's make his life a little bit miserable. They have no idea what misery is. At a young full age, you had to pack it away. You had to pack away the pain. You had to pack away the loss. You had to shove everything else aside. You had to put it inside the dark recesses of your brain. Just so you can function during everything else. I had to do that every single time. If I lost a friend, if I lost family members, if I lost a dog. My dogs weren't family members, what am I saying? I always have to shove the pain aside and have to keep moving forward. And I said before, it was hard enough when I lost David the last. I mean, the last time I lose a patient. Fuck a talk. Losing David back in 2018. I had to work through the shock, through the pain, through the shock waves. I had a secure apartment, bed bugs gotten rid of. Some before college. And yet, I felt like I hardly had any time for grieving, except I did on a few occasions. And it was just breaking. 2019 kicks in, and finishing up with one of my brother's mistakes. Long story on that one, too many videos on that one. But trying to struggle for survival, still going through college, and the grades are still climbing up. That was the weird part about it. Putting my focus, everything else on the schools, just to get the grades going up. God, as a teenager, I was always crashing and burning. Now as an adult, because I got context and perspective and maturity. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dealing with a few other students on campus, the saying that they've got problems they don't know how to handle with it. Hell, talk to me about it. Shit, tell me something I don't know. Coming close to graduation, though. So close. Depending on two particular pathways I take. And still, I struggle. Some days I'm alright, and other days it isn't alright. People talk about mental health like it's. Actually, they don't talk about it as much. The ones I keep seeing about the mental health is usually the ones on the PTSD, the griever pages out there, the griefs. They would talk more and more about how they're feeling and how they're dealing with loss. More truthful and honest ones. Everybody else, gay old time on social media. But they're not dealing with the actual reality because they're too damn embarrassed to talk about it. They're too damn embarrassed about it. Why? I've got it. I know I've had it ever since I was a young kid. But tell people about that one. Hey, you just got white lip coat syndrome. It's like you want to keep extending the middle finger all the damn time at people just for the fun of it. And that was just. And that was coming from the doctors, okay? That was coming from the medical establishment. It's no wonder I haven't seen a doctor in a hell of a long while, not to mention a therapist. Because if I'm going to have a therapist tell me, oh, you just got white lab coat syndrome, I'm like, okay, that's it. Grab the cane and I'm out of here. I don't need this. I'll deal with it myself. And I've been dealing with it myself. All the audio recordings and all the videos are basically my own self-home therapy. Because I have to keep talking about this. I have to keep talking about it. I have to keep getting it off my damn chest and off my mind. Because if I don't, I'm going to lose it. But it's always a reminder that I still have it. It becomes a catch-22 situation. How do you deal with that? I know a lot of people say, let it go, let it go. You'll release your burdens. Well, it'd be nice to release my burdens by telling my damn subconscious about that shit in the first place. My conscious is saying, yeah, set me free. And the subconscious is saying, come back here, asshole. Got this chain here. And how does that feel? Entrapment. Unless I deal with the subconscious, unless I deal with these matters, unless I can just come across with some kind of truth or something going on, I'm not going to be satisfied. I'm not going to be released on this damn shit. Oh, I know. They're going to be saying, pray about it. Yeah, I prayed about it already. It's just pray God's will be done. And guess what? I'm not through dealing with the issues yet. Come back here, asshole. This is how I am. Today, this is how I am. Yesterday, I've got it recorded. Tomorrow, it's not here. Today, I've been pulled back already. So how do you talk to people about this? How do you deal with people on a one-on-one level like this? How do you? I post my stuff out there and nobody pays attention to the damn shit. I put it as a premiere. It's like, he's back again. Let's get rid of him. I can't deal with it. But my channel is my channel. And I have to keep posting about it. I have to keep talking about it. It pisses people off. I don't give a shit. Because it's real. It's a time bomb. It's killing people left and right. And nobody talks about it. Absolutely nobody does. If they actually talked about it, my God, it'd be it's conspiracy, isn't it? I've seen too many people with the damn thing. And you listen to politics, and in politics, it's all insanity. It's basically insanity. I'm sorry. Where's the logic in anything in politics these days? It's all ego. It's all ego. The war in Ukraine is about ego. Some frickin' lunatic decides he wants to kick ass in another country because he wants that country part of him. And he's willing to kill people for it in the first place. And he don't care. And so he lies to everybody about the damn thing. He's got to have a growth in his head going on. He's got to have. And yet we're dealing with real lives being lost left and right, people being displaced left and right. There is hardship, there is death, there is grief, there is depression, there is a lot of crap going on. No wonder half the time I have to keep turning off the damn news because it's overwhelming. And yet I'm already dealing with my own overwhelming thing over here, dealing with emotional things. I'll watch something fictitious. It still kicks me in the butt. Because that gets me to cry. I've already been primed a long time ago. Hey, here I am, still surviving. I wake up in the morning, sometimes too damn early in the morning, 1 or 2 o'clock, or 3, start prowling around with a microphone, start talking and communicating, and then go back to bed and sleep right off. Another 3 hours. No, actually, another couple of more hours or 3 if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky. Then I can get out, breathe a sigh of relief, fix coffee, and deal with the day. Walk the dog, deal with the morning sun. Yeah. Take care of the garbage when it's needed. Of course, the garbage can's got to be emptied enough where I can dump my stuff in there. And deal with what I've got to deal with. What can I say about my life? In between school, or actually in between semesters, the summer and winter break, to get me relaxed enough so I don't get wound up too tightly to deal with the next semester. But I'll tell you something, when I lost my brother, ongoing struggle. Prior to my brother passing away, I was dealing with the responsibility of taking care of him, not to mention myself and then the schooling. So I was juggling all the time. I was getting used to the routine too sometimes. Tough, but it's workable. But he died. The reality shock of it is, he died. And here I am screaming at a damn corpse in an emergency room, pleading for this guy to get up, demanding him to get up. He's a frickin' U.S. Navy SEAL at one time, and you're lying down at a job, get your ass up. They damn near called security at me just to get me out of there. Because I'm yelling at a corpse that used to be my brother. There was a sick joke at one time. The year before my brother passed away, he had to deal with a cyst that had to be surgically removed on his right thigh, inner right thigh. And he had it removed and taken care of. I had to take him back home. He was hooked up with a central IV antibiotics. Had to be done to him every 2 or 3 hours. No, every 2 or 3 times a day, I think. Every so many hours, I had to flush him out. Oh, real fun learning how to use IVs, especially when I hate using medical equipment. And here I am doing it like a damn professional at this point along here, like I've been born to doing with it. And I'm still scared shitless of giving him a damn emblems. You gotta flush it out with the sterile water, and then after that, wipe it off, pump in his IV, flush him out again with sterile water, and cap it off, no problem. A little bit more to it than that. A little more to it than that, but still. And I see the wound for the first time. It's like 1 or 2 days. And we get a home health nurse. Actually, I think it was the next day over. I'm seeing his wound for the first time. My brother and I had this weird ass humor that we got from our mother a long time ago. What makes a family unique is the humor that we all express and share with each other. The little inside jokes that we grew up with all throughout our lives. So they make it more confusing to the outside person, but to the people who are inside the family, we get the joke, no problem. So how do you tick off a care nurse and get another care nurse at the same time? You do a joke on her without even realizing you're doing a joke. My brother's exposing his wound. I am not hip to the new bandages and procedures that people actually use at this point over here. But I see his wound. And I didn't see this oozing red thing. No, I saw muscle with striations in the damn thing, which reminded me a side of beef. I'm looking at my brother that way with a grin on my face. I'm trying to hide. He's going, "What?" Nothing. Say it. Nah. Say it already, John. You look like a side of beef. Can I get some cold cuts, please? No, actually, it was anyone for cold cuts. That was the thing. That was the thing. Anyone for cold cuts. My brother and I were roaring at that one, and the care nurse is like, she's already got the bandage already replaced at this point over here. She was in the process of doing this as I'm making the remarks, and she's like, "I don't get this." Dave had to explain to her what our family was like and what our sense of humor was like. At one time, my brother worked for a mortuary, and he had been called to the coroner's office of Los Angeles County while he was waiting to pick up a stiff. One of the coroners motioned him inside. Of course, my brother's dressed up and gowned up, and he's already got some Vicks underneath his nose, so he doesn't smell a damn thing except for the Vicks. And one of the coroner is talking to another student who wants to be a coroner, and he's learning. And he's looking at the stuff. He's getting a little green. My brother's looking at it like, oh, interesting. So as soon as the trainer opens up the skull, takes off a skull cap, and exposing the brain, it falls, and my brother's reaching for it automatically, catches it in his hands. He goes, "Cool. Anybody for cold cuts?" The student had to run out and relieve himself more ways than one. The coroner says, "You're sick." And my brother goes, "What?" He's laughing to himself. I'm going, "What? Anybody for cold cuts?" He goes, "Get out of here. Get your stiffs ready for you." My brother had that kind of sense of humor. He was a smart ass. He loved being a smart ass. All the way until the time he died. But that's what made him so fun sometimes. That's what made him part of a package deal that I loved being part of his brother, his younger brother, his baby brother. That kind of humor that was shared with each other during that time. Mama is another story I'm going to have to talk about, and then probably another tape when I have room. But my brother, we shared a tight bond with each other. When Mama was dying, we were the caregivers. We were the 24/7. I had lost a job doing a workers' comp accident, but I still helped take care of her a few more months until she passed away. And I can remember her last meal on Earth was pomelos. I cut up a pomelo, had it in a bowl for her. Her body's shutting down, but she's going to get her pomelos that night. She didn't tell me that her body's shutting down. She just wanted her pomelos. She wanted to taste in her mouth. But she also wanted to tell me through her eyes more things than I'm still realizing. Because a few hours later, me and my brother are doing 911 on her. And it was the hardest damn night. January 31st, 2013. Last meal on Earth, and then February 1st. She dies first time, and then 19 days later, dies a second time. Slowly. Her body was winding down, her spirit was already out, and we just had to shut down the machines to let her body die out. It was the hardest damn night. It was raining outside, too. Ma always did like raining. She made a sunny disposition, but man, she loved seeing the rain outside. Not quite sure if she felt anything about thunderstorms or lightning. That's what she wanted. And the heavens were crying for her when she went up. It's times like that when I reminisce over it, is that hurts more and more because she's no longer there. Rain depresses me because rain is Mama. It doesn't bring me comfort and joy. It just depresses the hell out of me that she's not here to enjoy it. She's probably the one causing it. And my brother, his favorite sounds was not exactly the ones in the United States Navy. It was the ones on the freeway. He always did say he was born with diesel fuel in his bloodstream. Probably was right. As a young kid, he was with his biological at that time, his father. And he was a truck driver at one time before he climbed his way through a company, International Harvester. All the way through management. Middle management, but still. But he was a truck driver. And my brother was looking at his father's rig. It didn't scare him. My brother was fascinated, asking questions and watching everything and then feeling emotions inside of his blood. Like father, like son, they were truck drivers. My brother was never afraid of the open road. Not once. Not once. When we were watching the movie over and over again in different times and different formats, Burt Reynolds, Jerry Reed, Sally Field, Jackie Gleason. Oh boy. brother, it wasn't exactly his favorite movie, but he liked it anyway. There was a few other trucker movies that my brother watched. Convoy was one of them. A couple others. But we'd watch Smokey and the Bandit. He loved Jerry Reed. Loved the music and the acting. And he was also telling me that Jerry Reed was also a truck driver as well. That was his own rig. And his own dog, too. My brother did research on that one. So the first movie we kept watching so many times. And the second movie we watched it so many times. And the third movie, not so many times. Didn't have the magic, didn't have Burt Reynolds, didn't have Sally Fields in it. Just had Jerry Reed and the great one, Jackie Gleason, in it. And that was about it. And it sucked. But the first two Glory movies, that was it. And then the conversations we would have in the car, driving to different places, we would be acting and reacting to stuff. Well, we actually had a CB in our car. We were listening to the truckers, and my brother would try to contact the truckers. He didn't have a powerful set enough. He didn't have it powerful enough for the truckers around him for miles to hear him. Because he didn't have the power, he didn't have the equipment for it. But he tried. Yeah, but it was still interesting to listen to him anyway. Truck drivers and the CBs. My brother may have been a U.S. Navy SEAL at one time, and he did his fair share serving his country. He made some mistakes he couldn't correct. And he tried. He tried. But the one thing I do remember about my brother is he had a hell of a lot of pride for his country, for the service. Even though he screwed up in the damn thing, he still had enough pride for the service in general, just not some of the people in the damn thing. But he had a hell of a lot of pride in his family, too. He didn't have any kids. He didn't have a wife. But that's a different story on that one altogether. That was the one I was trying to work on. Trying to get out of our damn family here. Those are different videotapes I've made regarding that situation. But this is Memorial Weekend we've got here. And I've got to find some hooks somehow to hang up a flag on my window. And show my patriotism. And to show how much I miss my brother. I miss him a great deal. I think I miss him more because he was taken too soon, but it was complicated for him. He had a stroke. Yeah, actually, several trans-ischemic attacks in his brain in different sections that affected him a great deal. Speech, and I pissed him off a hell of a lot worse than mobility and functionality. He can still walk with a cane and with a walker. He just couldn't take care of himself after he got off the toilet or shower himself. But what made it worse is he couldn't talk. He couldn't communicate as I am trying to communicate. Aphasia kicked in. His brain center that controlled speech. He was told by the doctors, and I was there with him, with therapy he could get it back. September 8th, he's asking me early in the morning that he can't breathe. I'm on the phone automatically with 911. Have to get the apartment ready to have the gurney come in and take him out. And then I realized this was going to be the last trip. I'm getting my gear ready because I know some of the gear I've got in my bag is what we're going to be needing coming back home, if he was coming back home or I was coming back home, one way or another. And if I was going to be carrying stuff regarding him back home, one way or another. And I had to make calls telling people what was going on, trying to get transportation arranged. Social media, phone calls, texting. It hurt like hell, and it stunned me like crazy to tell people that he died in the emergency room. It was one thing doing it about Mom, but now I had to do it about my brother. That's what scares me more about the medical establishment. That I may have to go into that particular place where both my family died in, just to get me taken care of. I've been lucky and I've been healthy enough that I haven't been that I haven't been in that fashion. But this, and it was hard as hell to talk to another person about it. Even though it was somebody in 12 step I met, helped me out a few times, and I've helped them out a few times. Or having breakfast, talking about it. I'm still stunned, I'm still shocked, and it hasn't clicked and it hasn't kicked in yet. And I come back home and I got to deal with a leasing situation. And worse off, I got to deal with a bedbug situation. It means stuff contaminated. It means clothing contaminated, which means sleeping apparel and beds contaminated. The whole place had to be cooked. The stuff had to be secured in bags if they are loose. Drawers had to be emptied. Food had to be secured. I mean, it was a nightmare. You know what the irony? You know what the thing that was driving me crazy at that point? I just started the first week of a new school term in 2018. I just started the fall term. I had 2 classes I had to cancel out. I just did 2 classes and I couldn't do them anymore because I was that emotionally compromised. I couldn't do it. And that was the thing that was kicking my ass. That was the thing that was really kicking my ass during that time. But after I got past the damn shock concerning about the bed bug situation and screaming and yelling and doing letter writing over to corporate management of this apartment complex to secure this place for me, because at that time I was also had social security disability ongoing. I had funds to pay for them to continue the rent in this place. And I had to work with management on that. And with a company changeover. was not until 2019, 2020 that the triggers were getting more intense and plentiful, all the way to this point of 2022. How I'm still trying to deal with it, how I'm still trying to cope with it, how I'm still trying to function. This hasn't been the easiest thing for me to talk about. I mean, I've had other shorter videos that dealt with the pain and everything else, but still. I'm not scrubbing this. This is definitely going online and being posted because I have to. It has to be said. I wake up in the morning, sometimes I'm functioning, and other times I'm crying my eyeballs out. And the thing is, because of the grief I've been experiencing for a hell of a long while, I've been putting myself out there more and more on social media with the grief pages. Keeping up with everybody else coming out there, newcomers, and trying to navigate their way into the grieving process. I'm not a guru. I've been through this damn thing too many times in my life. I'm not lettered, I'm not expert, I'm not anything. I'm a survivor. And I've been working through it. And it's been a fucking nightmare. Pardon my language, but it's a freaking nightmare. I'm not doing this for the ahs and poor me, poor me. It's got to be told about how a person goes through this stuff. I have to say this stuff because the persons are going, poor me, pour him another drink. He's making me cry. They have no idea, no concept unless they lost people. I lost people, but look at me. Yeah, you're still screwed up. You're not emoting. You're not getting your feelings out. You're not dealing with the pain. I did the same damn stuff. I had to lock everything else up. Now everything is coming out. It's coming out. And I have to deal with it. I have to deal with it. I have to deal with it head on with a clear head. Without any drugs, without any chemicals. I have to deal with it head on. I have to remember. I have to function. I have to work at things that I have to deal with. I may not remember everything. I may have CRS, can't remember shit. But you know what? I don't care. I'm working on me right now as it is. I'm not feeling that I need to cry over this right now. I am feeling that I had to tell this story. And I'll continue to tell my story. It's like going into recovery halls left and right and telling your story again and again because it's important for the newcomer to understand what they're facing. In the 12-step halls of Alcoholics Anonymous, my brother was recovering alcoholic since 1985. It was September 18th, 1985, that he'd gone in, declared himself an alcoholic, and didn't take the program for granted. He screwed around originally back in August, and in September had to redo it all over again, but September 18th was his birthday. October 10th, 06 is mine. 06. I had to deal with my own damn demons. So I'm still recovering in a way. But before I did that, I had to deal with my own brother's demons and make sure that he was alright. Screw me. I was making sure that he was alright more. And he goes through the program and he's surviving. And he's helping people out left and right. He's telling his story. Constantly, because people need to hear the damn story. All the newcomers coming into the programs, they don't know each other's stories. That's why we keep telling them left and right. It helps with our own recovery, and it tells the newcomer that they can recover too. It just takes time, one day at a time. sometimes a minute at a time. But you get over stuff, including grief and pain. You still have to work through it. You still have to go through the amend process. But when it comes down for grief and depression and stuff like that, you still need to work through it. And even in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, created by Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob, and a lot of other people contributed to the books. There's a lot of editions out there. They keep revising the forward and the stories afterwards, but still, just hearing those stories, reading those stories, it keeps putting you back in different viewpoints of what they're going through. And I swear sometimes I need those meetings more than anything else. It helps me. When Ma died, Dave and I had to go to, didn't have to, we went to meetings. And the time when I'm in there, I'm doing this to the chair, and they're looking at me. And I don't care. I'm shaking the chair because I'm hurting, I'm in pain, I'm in grief, I'm in agony, I'm in fear. Everything is going through me at this point over here, and all I gotta do is just keep shaking and shaking and shaking and shaking the damn chair. And somebody had to keep saying, relax, breathe. I'm like, I had to tell him something. I had to say something. I had to say something. And while I'm saying this, I'm still shaking the damn chair because I had to get this damn thing out. I had to get this damn thing out. And I'm sharing what was going on inside of me. All the rage, all the frustration, all the fear, all the grief, all the depression, everything rolling out. I just wish I kept those contacts. And those contacts would have been keeping hold of track of me and how the hell I'm doing these days. But this is how it is right now. Yeah, I know, this is a long-ass video. This is one of the longer videos I've actually done concerning about what's going on inside of me today. But I had to get the shit out. I had to. I'm grateful for it. Yeah, I'm showing you a little bit of gratitude about it. I'm able to share. My name is... In the programs, I called myself I Am John. I am John. I am John. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a griever. I'm depressed as hell. And I thank you for letting me share.